Surely, at some point in your life, you have longed to cultivate a new practice or get rid of a harmful habit. Undeniably, at a certain point, you experienced a strong aspiration to instigate positive change, act correctly, and improve yourself. However, as you have noticed, this proves to be notably more challenging than it appears. We all face, at some point, the setback of not achieving our purposes. The crucial part of the process of personal evolution is discipline. How many times have you drawn up a plan, committed to a goal, only to give up after a few days, succumbing to impulses and returning to old patterns? This is a familiar scenario for all of us. However, the recurrence of this phenomenon does not imply that it is acceptable or that we should normalize it. Accepting mediocrity only induces us to conform, to lose the motivation to challenge ourselves in life, and ultimately to give up the opportunity to become the best version of ourselves. It is imperative to understand that if you cannot overcome addictions, modify habits, or achieve goals, you probably lack discipline. Discipline is the ability to resist short-term desires, which are the obstacles to changing habits. Therefore, to effect positive changes in our behaviors, it is essential to develop discipline. At its core, discipline is to perform what is necessary at the right time, even when the opposite will manifest itself. In this video, I'll explain the importance of discipline in achieving our goals, discuss why it's becoming increasingly challenging to maintain discipline, and offer several suggestions for strengthening your discipline. Before we start, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, as this contributes to disseminating this philosophy to a wider audience. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe and activate Tinkerbell. Adherents of Stoicism advocate that we should exercise self-control, promote deep self-analysis, take responsibility, and seek objectivity. All these practices help us to live with virtue, leading a full and happy life. To cultivate virtue, discipline reveals itself as the fundamental tool. It gives us freedom by giving us the ability to make choices. In contemporary society, many people have become slaves to their desires. Those who live as prisoners of their own impulses hardly recognize such a fact, for they mistakenly believe that they are acting freely by following their desires indiscriminately. However, true freedom does not consist in acting without restrictions at any time. It lies in the ability to make conscious choices. Reflecting on who is freer, imagine a lazy person who constantly procrastinates and neglects his responsibilities, in contrast to someone who wakes up early and consistently fulfills his obligations. At first glance, it may seem that the lazy enjoys greater freedom, since he does as he pleases. However, the lazy lacks the true ability to choose, as his life is limited by the inertia of laziness. In contrast, the disciplined one who assumes his responsibilities and acts according to discipline has the freedom to choose between being lazy or responsible. This choice presents itself every morning in the life of the disciplined, and it is their freedom of choice that drives them to act with discipline, recognizing what is right. This represents true freedom, the ability to choose to be responsible when necessary and to opt for fun and pleasure after fulfilling responsibilities. The disciplined live truly free, while the lazy remain captive to their own inertia, without the prospect of improvement, deluded into thinking they are free or happier. This principle can be applied to any dependency that can be conceived. Now that we have clarified that discipline broadens our freedom, it is crucial to understand the true meaning of being disciplined. Whenever we set a goal, whether it is to lose weight, build an enterprise, become an elite athlete or an exceptional musician, it is imperative to work tirelessly to achieve it. However, it is not enough to strive for just one day, it requires constant effort. To concretize this effort, it is vital to overcome our impulses and develop the ability to act despite the temptation to relax, and this is what constitutes discipline. Being disciplined does not imply that you will never feel the desire to unwind, it simply means that you have acquired the ability to resist this impulse. The more you resist these impulses, the better you will be able to do it in the future. Discipline develops like a muscle, strengthening over time. It is also crucial to discern the difference between discipline and motivation. Motivation is a powerful impulse to accomplish tasks, but it is inconsistent. You can wake up motivated one day, and the next, this motivation disappears. Therefore, someone who relies solely on motivation will never be able to effect significant changes in his life or achieve his goals, because as mentioned earlier, constant effort is needed, not just for a few days. When you are a disciplined person, the result is different. Motivation may drive you initially, but when it dissipates, discipline takes the reins. It keeps us moving toward our goals, even in times when we lack motivation. Ask yourself if an elite athlete always has the desire to train, or if a successful writer always has the desire to write, or if the most successful entrepreneur always has the desire to work. Therein lies the difference between those who are content with little and those who aim for continuous improvement. It is an experience common to all of us. The desire to sit on the couch or lie in bed arises, but not everyone can overcome this desire. This is where the disciplined person excels, which is why in the Moderna world so many people seem to lack discipline. This difficulty in maintaining discipline these days occurs because life is becoming easier and easier. When survival is at stake, there is no room to neglect responsibilities, since life depends on it. However, when life becomes easier, two conditions arise that make it difficult to cultivate discipline. The first condition is the presence of temptations. We are surrounded by more sources of temptation and distraction than ever before. Things like television and social media compete for our attention, many of them designed to attract and engage us. We have at our disposal numerous possibilities of distraction through the internet, providing unlimited opportunities to not fulfill our responsibilities. It is worth noting that I am not suggesting that all these things are harmful, but it is crucial to learn how to manage the time spent on them. The second condition is the lack of resistance. An easier life also means fewer opportunities to practice discipline. As mentioned earlier, discipline is like a muscle that atrophies if not exercised. In the Moderna world, it is not necessary to be disciplined to survive, since Amazon offers next-day delivery, Netflix allows us to watch what we want when we want, social networks provide instant doses of dopamine, and we can order food that will arrive at our home in 30 minutes. The list of amenities is endless. As discussed in my video on the art of being disciplined, the pursuit of instant gratification is gradually eliminating opportunities for us to exercise discipline. We are becoming impatient, and our ability to concentrate is diminishing. A quote from Seneca that I greatly appreciate highlights how an easier life takes away opportunities for improvement and discipline. The phrase goes like this: "There is none less fortunate than the man whom diversity has forgotten, for he has no opportunity to be tested." Unfortunately, the world is eliminating sources of resistance essential to developing discipline. It is crucial to understand that comfort is not inherently harmful. For Stoics, it is simply a tool that can be used for good or evil. The key is to use comfort to rest after fulfilling our responsibilities, something that is beneficial and encouraged. However, the problem arises when there is an excess of comfort, which ultimately atrophies our discipline. We all enjoy moments of rest on the couch, but it is important to recognize that discipline is uncomfortable and challenging, as it implies suffering. This discomfort, however, is the catalyst for growth, providing a sense of development, achievement, and overcoming limits. So how do we build discipline? The first step to being disciplined is to find a clear purpose, set a goal that you want to achieve. As mentioned earlier, Discipline is like a muscle, and therefore it should be trained in the same way. In order for our discipline to grow, it is necessary to create uncomfortable situations in our life to practice it. Just like when training a muscle, we do not start by trying to lift 300 kilograms on the first day, but rather with a lighter weight. The same principle applies to discipline. We should start with small challenges and purposes, considering uncomfortable aspects in our life that we know we are able to overcome. Setting tasks that are beyond the reach of our current level of discipline is counterproductive, as is setting goals that can be achieved effortlessly. Overcoming these small and uncomfortable tasks will gradually contribute to the building of discipline, allowing us to soon face more challenging goals. Each goal achieved represents a repetition that strengthens our muscle of discipline. Here are some suggestions for goals you can adopt to improve discipline. Incorporate regular exercise, such as running certain days a week or going to the gym. In addition to promoting health, it will bring personal satisfaction and strengthen discipline. Participate in sporting events in your city, using them as challenges to overcome and improve the discipline. For example, get involved in races or try martial arts, as few sports require so much discipline. In addition, you keep yourself in shape and learn self-defense skills. Explore new hobbies, such as learning to cook, sewing, or gardening. Developing new passions and hobbies is an excellent way to practice constancy by devoting effort to an activity that enriches you as a person. Engaging in building something is another perfect activity to hone patience, effort, and discipline. Think of a project that excites you and work to complete it. Waking up early in the morning can be a challenge for many, making this practice ideal for improving discipline. It is not necessary to get up too early at once, start gradually. I hope this video will be useful to help you become more disciplined, or at least that it will serve as inspiration for overcoming. Finally, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel to receive more enriching content on Stoicism. I leave you here a video full of Stoic wisdom that will surely be to your liking. See you next time.